Hi, my name is Marsha Brogman. I'm with All City Real Estate. I'm here today with Joey Dixon with Dixon Pest Control. He's here to teach us today about how important our pest inspections are. Joey?
I'm Joey Dixon with Dixon Pest Control. The main thing I'm looking for whenever I go out to a house is I'm looking for anything that can cause you future problems with your house. I'm looking for termites. I'm looking for carpenter ants. I'm looking for anything that can do damage to your home. That's the main thing I'm looking for. But at the same time, I have no problems telling someone if they have a problem with other insects also, because you want to know that before you move in. You would be surprised how many times people will tell you, well, this house was treated last year, but that doesn't mean it was treated properly. And that's why it's still important to have it inspected, because I'm not saying someone's going to do it intentionally, but something could have happened and they missed a spot and it caused you a problem in the future.
Do you do the actual treatment, or do you just
I do the treatment, I do the inspections, I do pest control, I do it all. With this company, it is just me. I've had other companies that I had 20 or 30 guys that I was supervising doing work.
Okay.
I've done termite jobs all over the state of Texas.
Okay.
But like I said, on the inspection part, the most important thing is to let you know what you're walking into. I don't want you walking into a home that you're gonna have to have treated at a later time. Termite treatments can get expensive, but it's more the repair that's gonna cost you than what the termite treatment is.
Some people have that conception that just because it's new, it's not going to have that.
Homes,
What about mobile homes and brand new ones?
Homes are supposed to be pre-treated before they're built. But there's two types of treatments that you can do on a pre-treat. You can do a partial treatment, which is 90% of the homes. Then you can also do what they call the only full treatment that there is for termites is you treat the slab before it's poured, and then once the house is built, you trench it like you would a conventional treatment after a post-construction treatment. And that is the only full treatment that there is. The pre-treat is great because you can focus on your footers, which is where most of the weight for the slab is sitting. And then you also focus on your plumbing areas, which is the areas that's most of the time your insects are gonna come to. The termites, they're gonna go to the moisture because their bodies are 90% moisture, which is why the termites will come up into the wall and eat and then return back down.
Especially with the flower beds in front of your house, right? That creates a lot of problems.
The flower beds are bad, but your planter boxes, the ones that are about 2 or 3 feet up in the air, those are the worst, because then you've got the soil and people water that and it keeps that moisture on that wall.
Gotcha.
The other thing that I'm looking for is conducive conditions. Your planter boxes, wood piles up against your house are the worst thing possible, because even if your soil treatment is there, it depends on how far out that wood goes. They can get into the wood and work their way over the top of the soil and end up in the house.
And that's why if you see the wood and you see insects, you still recommend it be treated.
Yes, ma'am.
Some people do, that's why
I'm not gonna recommend treatment unless the house truly needs to be treated. I will give you recommendations on, hey, let's move the wood from here, get it out by the back fence, get it somewhere else. Everybody wants to sit the wood on their back patio because they won't use their fireplace. And it's easier to step out the back door where it's cold. You don't have to go all the way out there, but it's right there. You grab it, you bring it in, you stick it in the fire. So they want that wood right there on the concrete. Well, there's an expansion joint. Anywhere that concrete was poured and then another piece was poured, there's an expansion joint.
Gotcha.
And they can come up that expansion joint into the wood, and that gets them started on that wall. And that's why I always tell everybody to move any wood piles away from your home, at least 10 feet. I prefer, if you have a backyard, set it out by the back fence. But you can do it,
How about the big planter boxes that people have, and some of them grow their little gardens and everything? How far away should that be from your house?
The planter box, some of the true planter boxes are actually built against the house. If it's a brick home, they're bricked around and they got it in there.
Well, I'm talking about even the gardens. They're about this high. This one lady had like 4 of them in her yard. Should it be
anything that's gonna be wood, you want it at least 10 feet from the house. But when I go out there, I'm gonna give you a recommendation. The number one thing, and the home inspectors also will tell you the same thing, is your AC condensation line. It always seems to be dripping right against the foundation of the home.
Yeah.
You want to extend that where it's running away from the home. I don't care if you even just bring it out a little bit and get one of the little rain gutter deals to run it out of the way, but you don't want that condensation building right there by the house. For one, it will start causing foundation issues, and for two, it's gonna draw insects to that area.
Okay.
Your ants, your termites, all that stuff is gonna draw to that, any kind of moisture. Yes, ma'am.
What about mobile homes?
Mobile homes, they can get termites, don't get me wrong, but most of them are built up off of the ground. But where people get in trouble is they go back with the wood siding underneath the house to underpin it on the trailer homes, and they can get in that and come inside. But they can also come all the way up. I've seen mud tubes literally waist high on me.
Yeah,
So
we just did one. The mobile home, I think, was only 2 years old, but it was infested underneath of it.
Well, see, that's the problem with the most mobile homes is you don't have. They're not usually pre-treated before you put it in there. So when you set it down, whatever insects were in that spot, they're still there. And termites are there to destroy old trees, stuff like that when it's on the ground. Well, we went in and cleared all that off. Well, they're still looking for food, and that's why they end up in the homes. I mean, that's their deal is to eat, eat wood. Well, we've cleared off all the wood that for them to eat, so they're still there looking for food, and that's why they end up in the house. Your carpenter ants, which a lot of people forget about, carpenter ants are usually going to be found where termites were at one time. The termites eat the wood. The carpenter ants will hollow it out and live in it. Carpenter ants, termites, you're looking for mud tubes. It'll look like little pinholes in the walls. There's a lot of different ways you can find them. But the carpenter ants, usually what you'll find is it looks like sawdust, and it's laying on the windowsills, around other areas like that. And that's what the carpenter ants go in there and they hollow it out. Well, they just kick that stuff out, and that's where you start finding it looks like sawdust.
Can you also take care of bed bugs? Because some houses have bed bugs.
I can take care of bed bugs. Bed bugs is a whole different world.
It's a bad one, huh?
But when I'm doing the pest inspection, that's one of the things I'm looking for is stuff like that, because my deal is I don't want you buying a home, regardless of how old the house is. I don't want you buying a home and move in and have a roach infestation, a mice infestation, especially bed bug infestation, because bed bugs are nasty.
They are. There was this lady, and she thought they were just bugs. She didn't realize they were bed bugs. They were so bad, they were falling out of her ceiling. She lived in a mobile home. It was horrible.
It's very possible. Like motels, the reason they're so bad is because they can travel from room to room to room. You can treat this room, but it's not going to take care of the room next door.
It seems like though that they kind of like stay in like one area.
Not really.
They don't? Okay.
Not really.
Hers seemed like it was just in her bedroom, like it didn't go through the rest of the house or something.
It can be that way. Bed bugs, they bite because they feed on the blood, and that's what they're there for. So if she stayed in that room most of the time, that's where they're going to be.
Yeah, she was disabled.
Yeah, and that's why they were there. But like I said, when I do the inspection, I'm looking for all of that. I'm not just, I'm going to tell you what I find, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, because if I see something that doesn't need to be treated, I'm going to tell you it doesn't need to be treated. If I tell you it does need to be treated, I have no problem with you calling someone else to look at the same thing I looked at, because I'm not going to tell you something that's not true.
But if there's active termites, you're going to recommend?
If there's active termites, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to send pictures. If to nobody else, I'm going to send pictures to the realtor. Anything I find, I'm going to tell you. If I tell you that it's got to be treated or this needs to be corrected, I'm going to send a picture of it, because I want you to see what I'm talking about. The mud tubes, a lot of times people don't even realize what they are. The little pinholes in the walls, they don't realize what they are, but they go into a home and it looks like someone had a picture hanging on the wall, and it's actually termites that's been in that spot.
Yikes. I noticed it gets on the ceiling too.
Yeah, I've found many places on the ceiling and stuff like that. You get into areas further east that have a lot of humidity and stuff, and they have a different type of termite, Formosan termites, and they can actually build a colony in the attic.
Goodness.
Around here, we don't have that issue, but you get further east, you can run into stuff like that.
So, on the question of the bed bugs though, is it gonna be treated the same as the termites?
No,
No.
it's
Termites
a
are
total different treatment.
Yeah.
Your termite treatment, you're treating the soil to keep the termites from being able to get in the house. And there's many different chemicals out there. The only chemical that I use for termites is Termidor, and it's because it's the top of the line that there is.
Gotcha.
As
I've been
far-
asked that question, that's.
No, as far as other insects, everything's got a different. Most chemicals have a specialty, and it depends on what you're treating for, what you use. But as far as termites, I won't use anything but Termidor.
What about the carpenter ants?
Carpenter ants are. It depends on where they are and how bad they are as to what kind of treatment you're going to have to use. Some of it, the Termidor is awesome for
So it'll kill those
carpenter
too?
ants. Yes, because the Termidor actually it transfers from termite to termite to termite. That's the same thing with ants, and you end up with a total colony elimination. But you also have to go inside and do some treatments in the walls and stuff like that when you're dealing with carpenter ants. If they're in somewhere where there's a wall void or a brick void or something like that. Other times you may be able to just do them from the outside. It depends. A lot of times what people will find is you'll find one or two carpenter ants trailing around the eave of a house or something like that. You look in a tree and they're actually in the tree, not in the house.
Oh, okay.
And you can actually take care of it by treating the nest where they're at instead of having to go in and treat the whole house or that area of the house or whatever. There's a lot of different things that you're looking for when you do them, when you do an inspection. And like I said, I've done homes that were treated last year and they're active again. It could be the chemical that was used. Some chemicals have a maximum lifetime expectancy of 5 years. But I will tell you, if you dig up by the foundation, a sewer line, replacing a sewer line, plumbing line, or something like that, and you've had your home treated, it's not a bad idea for them to come back and treat that spot again.
Oh, okay.
And that's why you get a guarantee with your termite treatment is to come back and take care of those spots if you have to, because it breaks your barrier. Because what you're actually doing is you're putting a chemical in the soil so the termites have to go through it. Well, when you dig that up, you're breaking that barrier. And that's why if you replace some plumbing line, anything like that, it's a good idea to have that spot treated again.
Okay.
And how long is the treatment guaranteed for?
I give a 3-year guarantee on it. But I'm gonna tell you with Termidor, because that's what I use, they're gonna tell you it's gonna last a minimum of 10 years.
Okay.
I'm gonna tell you, I treated houses 20 years ago that are still no problem.
Oh, nice.
So that's the key to it. That's why I use Termidor, because it does work.
So, and a lot of buyers ask this question, do you need them to come to the inspection? They know they wanna go to the home inspection, do you really need them at the pest inspection?
I don't care if they come, but no, I don't really need them there. If they wanna be there, I have no problem with it.
Have you had a few show up?
I have had a lot of them show up, and I have no problem doing them with the home inspectors also. And I've got a few of them I've called and said, hey, did you see this?
Yeah.
Especially like a bat trap or something like that, and it's wet in there. Hey, did you see this? I have no problem with that.
Okay.
I don't mind whoever's there.
I only ask because they always ask and they always seem to show up, a lot of them.
I've actually done them with the home buyer there and the seller there. I'm not bashful.
Okay, there you go.
That it?
Okay, yeah, I don't have any. Hi, I just want to take a moment to thank Joey for all that valuable information on pest inspections. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about pest inspection or the home buying process, give me a call.